Saeed, welcome to another segment. If you have not subscribed, if you most definitely just new to the channel, welcome to the channel. And if you've already been to the channel, which is you a subscriber, I appreciate all that you have done, which is participate. We on this journey together, y'all. Give me quietly 1 second. Pardon me. Excuse me. All right. Let's get into this. The return of the devil. Pardon the noise in the background. The return of the devil. Well, the first thing we start off with that a lot of people don't believe that the devil actually exists. But there's evidence that the devil does, because the devil uses people to carry out those assignments, whether it's a spiritual, energetically, or some type of scenario, which many of us have witnessed or even uh, participated as far as doing devilish things and thinking devilish ways. Now, the reason to return to the devil, because the devil got this one round that he's trying to actually devour, which is to get those individuals who have escaped, and also individuals who have not ran across the devil's presence. Sometimes the devil will actually come to you himself, or it. It's some type of entity being, for sure. I had my experience back in 2000 and I want to say 2005, 2006. I had my experience with the devil, where he had obsessed the female mind and body, and he spoke through her, and he was like, I'm in a dark place sitting in this chair where it's stinking rotten, and I'm gonna be watching you everywhere you go. But that's not the tone that he used, but the tone that he used, demonstrating the tone, would be a tone that you've heard from some type of scary movie. Now, most people have an indication that with that devil, it that is real, that people don't believe that's real, actually can channel through people and places and things, and also appear. But he most definitely have to get the Most High permission to do anything. That's why you see a lot of people that are actually positive and those that are negative, along with other different words that you can actually go back and forth with of demonstration, that you see the presence of people's actions, who they're representing, and what side they're playing on when it come down to the Most High or the devil. But the devil's whole purpose right now is because everyone that he's used, they're no good anymore. They've used up. He's gotten them to do everything that possibly that's abomination or some type of form of lack of integrity, and also disconnected so far from the Most High that he need fresh people. He need people who have potential, people that don't realize their potential until they get on their dark side. A lot of times what you find is people that's on that dark side, because it's so unbalanced, they're completely on that side than you to be able to see any type of light, meaning them being kind or being nice or generous without any ulterior motives to create some type of form of harm. Pardon me for the background. Some type of form that rather it hurts themselves or hurt others as well. But however, there's evidence. Today's topic and proof, there's evidence, just the same as the Most High. There's evidence that the devil exists. If you look at entities and people in high places, how they go about not only treating themselves, but how they treat others, the manipulation, the deceptions, things like that, the slanders, the gossips. I don't know if anyone and everyone is going to get this whole content, because lately YouTube been actually deleting a lot of my content and just leaving content where that, like, if I didn't say anything, which is fine. I went through that with Facebook and stuff like that. And what I do understand is that the kingdom business of the Most High is the kingdom business of the Most High. No one's going to change the business of how the Most High is going to do it. He's not worrying about how man intervenes and so forth, so on, because they have to pay for the consequences of that. So they don't know what the consequences is, because in all actuality, they think there isn't a consequence, because if they realized there was a consequence, they would not even do it. But you know, some people bigger than their pants, you know what I'm saying? Like some people have to actually loop their pants with an extra, you know, pull to the side, whether it's left or right, depending on how they put on their belt. But most belts gonna be pulled from the left to the right. And it'd be kind of like tight there. Some people present those belts where you can actually see, and some people hide those belts because they embarrassed of actually what it looks like, instead of just being comfortable being themselves. People like you or they don't like you. Doesn't matter if you're the finest man, finest woman in the world. There's a lot of people that's way more attractive than me and anybody else, and they're not liked. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times people get insecure. I'm showing you how the devil works. I didn't get off topic. I'm showing you how the devil will throw something in your mind. As you throw it in your mind, he don't have power, or it don't have power. You give it power by actually accepting the things in your mind or the actions or your circumstances, feeling like there's no way out. The easiest way out, first and foremost, is trusting the Most High. The second is faith. And the third, which is many other different things, but we're just going to make it simple. The third is taking action. That is it. The Most High, faith, and taking action. You already got faith, because every day you're desiring, every day, each day, that you're saying that I'm going to wake up and I'm going to do X, Y, Z. So you're naturally already in your faith. So what you have to do is apply that same faith when you're dealing with some type of diversity, or someone want to convince you that you can't do it. The devil want to convince you there's no other way. The devil want to convince you, say, hey, this is the better way. It's quick, it's fast. Yeah, it's going to mess some people up, but it's going to mess you up possibly. But I'm going to try to make sure that you straight. I ain't going to promise you that you're going to be straight when you take this action, but I'm going to make sure that you can get a chance to take the action, since God is taking too long. God is never on time, and et cetera, you know, all the blah, 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 you know. And a lot of people are furious with the Most High, being like, well, why you let this happen and that happen? The clarity and understanding why the Most High allowed things happens to show us how to be grateful and appreciative, and also have examples out here, so we'll know how to avoid those type of circumstances. You know, if there was no examples out here that is considered negative, then we'll fall for the trap every time. That is one of the ways that the Most High communicate with people. His communication is just the same as talking. You know, you see a car, right, and you like it, you don't even have to say that you like it. Your action is going to take action towards that vehicle or that person or that job or that career or that creativity or that workout or that makeup or that, you know, those clothes, those sneakers, those high heels, whatever. It's the same thing. So, you know, there's a lot of people in high places understand this conversation. And at this point, we at the place where everybody should understand this conversation, because it's very important. Person, why is it important? It's very important because every day that you live, there's some type of wisdom that needs to be gained, so you can continuously to excel. And if you're not excelling, then we have to get to the root cause of why you're not excelling. What am I getting out of this? Nothing. The job is to do my job for the Most High. That's why I'm doing this. Some person like, well, dang, you don't really have a lot of people that follow you. I just started this thing, so it's not even about people following me. It's just all about me doing my job, and it's up to the person with their free will to choose to follow. If they looking for something different from what they're experiencing and going through, or want to avoid things, this is the channel for you. If you are looking to do the opposite of it, then this channel is not for you. But you're always welcome, whether you like the channel or not, or the things that are being said, or that you may feel like it doesn't resonate. Resonation is a concept that resonates at divine timing and timeline, depending on where you at in your life and depending on what frequency and your mindset. So I can never tell myself that something is never for me, because I won't know until I actually experience it. I thought that many times that certain things wasn't for me, but it was for me. It was actually for me, and I missed the blessings. I missed the lessons. Then I had to go right through the cycle to get the blessings and also get the lessons. So that's how I got to the point where I'm at. I'm not ever willing to be ignorant to others based on their pigment skin, based on who they are, what they look like. because I'm paying attention to what people are saying. And as people speak, the truth shall speak and the lie shall be shown. And that's how it works. Winner from the start. You a sweet Hurts. 442. You know, there's someone that said they are, a young lady the other day said she's an angel. And I asked her, I said, well, what angel are you? And she said, nothing. And then I gave her a demonstration that a lot of people feel, and there are very few that know that angels of light can bring just as much as havoc than the angel of the dark. And the person said, well, how is that true? Well, think about it. If you on the right side, what type of habit that would not be brought to a dark angel or a human being that's trying to harm you? Now, do you think that the angel will actually be a sweet angel and go to the dark angel, or a human being that's actually full of darkness and evil and wickedness and say, could you please not bother them anymore? That's not going to happen. You know, some people are religious. So there's a religious scripture or story that talks about Sodom and Gomorrah. The Most High sent, it said that the Most High sent two archangels to destroy the city. Now it doesn't say in detail if these angels was of light that I recall, but I think they are of light, that it did recall that they are, versus them being of darkness. But either way it go, we both, or we all have dark and light. So contrary to our concepts or the concepts of others who have introduced their opinions and facts or their experiences about what light is and dark is, neither one of them is bad. Because think about it, if you're in a situation, right, and this is a situation where you're about to lose your life, what do? You be nice about it, or you have to turn that light off and get into the dark side of yourself to defend yourself? Question would be, which one is going to make sense? Which one that you have a chance to actually be able to overcome the circumstances that you may be in, or even observing others? Where we witness that others who actually be sweet still get punished, and some lose their life. So you just have to manage that, so you'll know what you need to do. But the advice that I just gave is, you need to turn up. Don't never let yourself be in harm's way where somebody's gonna actually harm you when you haven't brought any harm to them. And if you did bring some harm to them, then you're just matching energy, and all you're doing is seeing who's going to dominate that energy at that particular time, whether it's gossip, words, slander, rather you doing spiritual work against each other, rather you getting others to get involved with it. You know, don't be them people that be getting other people involved in things that have nothing to do with it, because I'm telling you something, the Most High is going to hold every person that went to other people and start talking down on other people, whether it was a reason or not, instead of them handling their business with the individual themselves. And that just shows you that that person is still bothered or strongly weak when they actually go to other people that actually end up telling them about something that had nothing to do with them, just to convince them to actually be a hater. Now it said, well, what you said has to do anything with the devil? That's what the devil do. They're giving demonstrations, all kinds of things that people don't really pay attention to. Excuse me. However, you know, me having the ability to be attention to detail, which many few are very attention to detail, is a blessing. Because I'm a very observant person. I see the smallest things that people don't pay attention to. All right. That look like ill will. If you can identify, do you know how much money you have made? If you can actually identify where people look ill will, well, I could tell you what I am. I'm not ill will, but my last name is the Return of the Avenger. If I feel like you crossed me and I need to actually show it, I'm so excited I can't even get the words out. But let me say this: if you cross me, I'm not going to tell you anything. I'm going to show you with actions. And I'm not really a person into going back and forth. And I'm not saying no words could not or ever be exchanged. But what I will tell you is, as a chosen seed, it's the worst mistake you can ever make in your life. See, people need people, right? People need guns. People need some type of physical caliber to actually be able to feel confident in whatever they're choosing to do towards me or any chosen. I'm gonna speak not only for myself, but chosen and people who are not chosen. What people don't understand is this: the spiritual realm is way different from the physical realm, and this is where people lack at. They think because they see something, rather the devil is telling them, or rather they telling themselves, or rather it's both going on at the same time, that you have a shot at doing something or have a shot at saying something and not the repercussions of the repercussions, consequences. You will reap what you sow. So as a child of the Most High, we don't miss no mark. The Most High is the guardian of all guardians. The Most High is the gatekeeper. The Most High is in control of the world. Man ain't controlling nothing. In that case, everybody will be bounded doing not what they want to do, but doing whatever man says. Do you know how many people are rebellious to what man says? They do what they want to do. And you can. I mean, I'm glad that you stated that, because the question is that most people, or a statement rather to say, that most people will project who they are onto others. There's nowhere in possibilities of evidence and factual fact that you can prove to me or anyone who's observing that I'm ill will. What evidence do you have besides just words? People like to see the truth. People like to see some evidence. So at this particular time, you're just saying something just to be saying it. Now, if you did that, which is ill will, first of all, it's disrespectful. Second of all, it's a projection of something that's not true. And then third of all, to give others the assumption of something, if they choose to believe that, to discourage them to walk away. Well, respectfully saying, to say this and to say more, is that I respect who walk away and I respect those who stay. This is not about me. This is about what the Most High is requiring me to do, and also is about each individual, what decision he or she makes. Their decision, doesn't affect me or anyone else. It affects them. So you're not the first to do any such thing, and this is not my first platform, and it's not my first time being on screen. I've been on screen plenty of times, performing, doing many different things. I got many different talents, and sometimes people get some of the truth and it runs them away, but hey, only strong survive. You ever heard that saying? And the weak ain't as weak as when we use that word weak. They just choose to not be ready. And if you choose at the last moment to be ready, then it's too late to be ready because the moment has passed. What do you think opportunities mean? It means the opportunity to take advantage of, and then once you don't take advantage of the opportunity, it's no longer existing. You can pray, you can huff and puff, and you can realize, like, dang, I should have made these choices, and I should have took this move, I should have took that, I should have made this move, but shoulda, coulda, woulda isn't gonna actually bring back any opportunity. I missed plenty of opportunities past, but now that I've gotten mine straightened, you know what I'm saying? Shouts out to the Migos on that one. Then I'm willing not to sacrifice it, meaning not willing to allow people or what other people doing to convince me, like, yeah, I need to go and hang out with them and do that stuff, because I already know the stuff that they're doing is corruptive, and it's bringing some type of form of harm. Even if we never around anyone that we hurt any other people outside us, but we actually hurting ourselves. So we're wasting the precious time that the Most High has given us on a day-to-day basis to actually represent not only him, but also ourselves, and actually enjoy this life that we're living. Most people don't enjoy their life because they allow the devil and also themselves to convince that life is bad and it sucks and it never will get better. And there's so much evidence that people been through the same situation they've been through or worse, and their life is great because they made decisions. They refused to give up. They changed their mindset. They got motivated. They could cut people off. They started spending more quality time with God and start spending more quality time with quality people instead of quantity. Quantity will never outmatch quality. People think because you got quantity, meaning masses of people, that means you're popular or you're popping and you're that, you're it, or you're him, or you're her. No, it doesn't mean none of that. Some people just there for entertainment. Some people don't have a sense of direction, and some people are on board with the bullshit. Okay, there you go. Not say please, say happy birthday. I am not doing that. Google ill will, my boy. Yeah, man. So, I ain't tripping about nothing, man. Ain't nothing to trip. I had a little conversation earlier with the devil. The devil wanted a whole argument about factual facts, and the gentleman, he listened to me, then he started talking. But when you projecting a narrative that doesn't fit the description of our conversation, I'm gonna cut you off. Not anything that I said when he gave me the space to actually speak, that I created a narrative that was false. And so he was like, hey, you ain't letting me talk because you're lying. That's why. You're trying to insult my character, and I refuse. I'm not doing what I've done in the past. Let somebody just talk crazy, and you can't ignore everything, but I can do it very well. But sometimes it's a place and time where you got to put people in their place, and the devil gonna use these people to the best ability. They don't even realize they're being used. They think it's something normal. It's not normal for you to be created by the Most High and come out being ignorant. There's nothing normal about that. I see, for example, respectfully saying, I'm not talking about all white families, but it can be any race. I see where you will see children, like I work outside, so you'll see little children, they're friendly, they're smiling, and they just so gentle and precious. I don't give a damn if they are not attractive the way people define ugly and what's pretty to them. That's their world and their opinion. But the point is, you see these children, they're so precious, they very friendly and like to speak, and then when they become adults or teenagers, they're taught by their parents or, all right, I'm back. It paused for a second. Let me battery, need to charge my phone up. But we almost done anyway. But you have parents that teach their children to actually be ignorant and harden their heart towards people outside their skin complexion. But here's the question. Those people who are believers of the Most High claim that they got to explain to the Most High why they misled their children or mislead other people to go the opposite way of what is in their best interest. People think this segregation or division, whatever you want to call it, is healthy. It's already proven that it's so unhealthy. People, just a thought of someone thinking about somebody's skin or pigment skin actually does something not only to their personality and character, but also to their livelihood. Like everything's affected. You're affecting your bloodline, your ancestors. Ancestors can't help you because you're not listening. And your ancestors are your thoughts. It's telling you what way to do, what way to go, and so forth, so on, along with the Most High and your guardian angel. And people don't, it's not people not connected, people stay disconnected, so they don't actually have to come among those people that they're following or they're leading for those followers to follow them, because it's fun and it's exciting and it makes them feel good with their ego and whatever else that comes along with that. In all actuality, serving the devil. You know, devil, you got people that play both sides. You see people do certain things just to show people that they'll do it, but then also behind the scenes or in public, how they mistreat other people, which they have no reason to. Because you can compromise any situation where that you can fix anything. If things wasn't fixable, then our mind would be limited to fixing anything. You know what I'm saying? So people want to know why they not winning, because they ain't winning. And the reason why they ain't winning, because they ain't with the Most High. And when you ain't with the Most High, you ain't going to win anyway. I'm on the phone. You're not going to win anyway. So people can say, well, I got this, I got that. Well, hell, look at Diddy. He got a lot of resources. It's over with. I'm not saying he won't get out of jail, but at this particular time, if you think about the income somebody making or the moves that you would be making with your freedom is, and that little bit of time that you incarcerated, it can be one day. It's a humongous loss. And then you looking at years of time, and we're talking about federal. Normally 99.9% what feds got you, you actually go to jail unless you make some type of deal with them and get a lesser charge and lesser time, or you become an informant. And he might be informant in there. I don't know, but hey, I'm not gonna knock him because I ain't gonna knock anybody snitch. It don't have nothing to do with me anyway, because people snitch for a reason. There's all kinds of reasons why people snitch. And you know, you got people who boast about snitching. Oh yeah, I don't mess with snitching, but gossiping is snitching. It's the same thing. Slandering is snitching. It's the same thing. You're telling information about something or somebody that somebody else don't, or another third party don't have no clue about, or if they do have a clue about, they don't have as much as information that you're going to bring to the table about the information. So you're snitching, you're talking instead of just mind your business and stay in your lane. Then you wonder why motherfuckers outdoing you and outgrowing you and obtaining things, because you meddling. You sticking your nose way longer than Pinocchio in other people's business. Not only your nose is single, it's spread it. It got like 5 noses poking out, and it's poking every situation that it feel he or she can actually indulge in and see how far they can go into it. And then when it gets so messy, you don't see them staying, because those fake people say they real. You see them haul ass, and you don't see them no more. I learned one lesson that the Most High taught me recently. I can't say it was last year. I can't say it was when. But what I can say is that the Most High taught me that other people's business ain't your business, and you need to be mindful. If somebody dying out here, it's a reason. You know, you all gotta go. But when that time come and I call you, you're out of here. So people put these masks on to make themselves, which is the devil, make themselves feel like, or present themselves as well to other people that they're this and that, and they're not. That's just like, for example, many of you here today, as well as myself, got ex-people, ex-girlfriends, ex-boyfriends, ex-husbands and wives and stuff like that. They feel, or felt at the time rather, to say they was entitled, right? They felt like they was entitled to a lot of shit. But here's the truth about it. They never did none of the stuff that they required or expected you to do for themselves. So how entitled are they, or were they, or is they? Because you have past, present, and future where people still in the mindset of that. And then you have the future where you may encounter someone, or there in the future, there are those in the future who have that type of mindset. Like, they're nobody, but they try to tell you that you wasn't nobody. You the breadwinner, but they telling you the crumb. The whole time they the crumb and the bum. You know what I learned about ex relationships? Never ignore the things that exes show you, what they're willing not to do for themselves and how they feel about themselves. It's very important to pay attention to how people feel about themselves. That's one way you can avoid a bad connection, bad relationship with anybody. The devil gonna trick you by showing you how handsome or how pretty she is, or what kind of body she got, or what type of material things they have, or what type of career they have, to trigger your mind like, oh man, she's a medical, oh yeah, she's a RN, or she's a medical assistant, or oh man, she's a HR manager, oh man, he's a CEO, or he's a boss, or oh man, he's a multimillionaire, and woo woo and woo woo. The devil gonna trick you. In all actuality, what I have spoken, that there's so much evidence of this in reality, and also shows and movies. They show you what you're supposed to see. People just not paying attention. They're just looking at it as entertainment. They're not looking at like, is this going on, and where is it going on at? It doesn't matter if you ever see it. It is going on. How you think they're able to make the movies and the videos and the shows? Because they know the situation they have created for people to go or be in. They have spirits, monitor spirits that actually comes and show them what to actually create. This is who they serve. They don't serve the Most High. But the Most High be right there in the movies and all that too, showing you what you shouldn't do. He shows you when you see these type of situations, these are the consequences. You know, it's like having unprotected sex. What time is it that you think that there's not a time that you can actually have a transmitted disease, or even swiping energy is worse than having HIV. You don't even know you're swiping energy, because you're just looking at it as a physical thing, like, yeah, I'm getting it in, or yeah, I got him by the, I got him by the finger, whatever. You really got yourself. You just don't realize until them consequences start happening, or those different events start happening as well, and you just start realizing, and then you get in this mindset the devil creates in your mind as well, that you stuck and you ain't got no way out. The devil's job is to lie, steal, kill, and destroy. He's doing it very well. But he needs you to do it in order to have that full power, because the devil don't have no power. The devil has power. Everybody be under submission of the devil. There would be no good in the world, period. There would be nobody wanting to inspire. There wouldn't be no one motivated. There wouldn't be no one dedicated. There wouldn't be no one speaking of the Most High. None. And all those that's in front of you, for those who choose to watch those people, none of those people talk about the Most High, a.k.a. God. None of them. Unless they're begging for mercy or wanting something to go their way. It's the only time. Besides that, you're not going to see them get no praise to the Most High. The Creator who created them, they're going to give praise to man. But that's how man said it. For you as an individual to look up to them and thank them for everything. Thank you so much for the houses, the money, and the opportunity to be here today. And, you know, if man was to hear people tell the Most High, give you praise, first of all, I want to thank, I'm going to just act like I'm at the award show right quick. First of all, I want to thank God, you know, for this opportunity, also this award. I want to also thank my producers. I also want to thank also AK artist Blase Blah, who worked with me. I want to also thank myself. People don't even thank themselves because you put in a lot of work and it took you to have the energy and the faith to keep going versus quitting. And I also want to thank my fans, you know, out there who support me. And you can be sarcastic. Hey, I want to thank my hater, because if the haters wasn't present, how could this ever be a tremendous moment for me? I want to thank my kids, because my kids also pushes me along with me pushing myself. I want to thank every trial and tribulation I've ever been through, and the experience that I've expressed to others on a personal level and also on the level to others and the masses of people, to tell them that, hey, you can make it if you decide to make it, and you can make it based on starting today, not starting tomorrow, not waiting 3 months later to get in shape, not 2 months later saying I'm gonna start paying my bills on time, not 4 months or 10 years later saying, man, you know what, it's time for me to stop going to jail, not 2 days or a week, you know, I'm gonna actually change my vocabulary, or I'm gonna start watching something different, or I'm gonna start eating better. Why you gotta wait? Why not just start now? Well, I don't feel like it. I'm lazy. I'm not ready. I don't have all this and that and the third. Take what you got. Take what you can get. That's a start. Instead of just procrastinate or delay shit. Because while everybody getting busy, meaning making shit happen, you ain't gonna do nothing but spend enough time and energy hating them, and the devil teaching you that shit. So therefore you be stuck in the devil energy, and then you be wondering, now that you're creating karma, now you wondering why things ain't happen, because you gotta pay for the seeds and the energy that you're putting out in the universe. You gotta pay for that shit. People keep talking about they don't believe in the universal energies or universal laws, and I don't believe in the devil, I don't believe in God, I don't believe in this, I don't believe in that, this ain't true, that ain't true. The reality is, King Von, for example, his ass is dead. What you thought, or he knew that at some point he was gonna die based on who he was serving, and how he was serving, and what type of lifestyle. So he didn't mind going out with a bang. And then some of you, whether it's in this broadcast or outside this broadcast, actually have that mindset. Like, I'm gonna go out with a bang. I don't got a chance. Well, I want to tell you something today, and maybe it might change your mind. You won't know that until you have a conversation with the Most High to know if you have a chance. You haven't given yourself the opportunity to know that, because you haven't stepped into it to find out. You were making assumptions standing from the outside looking in like, yeah, man, I've done so much. There's no way. Man, I did this to this person, this person know I did it, this person don't know I did this and that, the third. I've disrespected the Most High. I've even shown the Most High that I'm not a believer. I'm an atheist. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe in nothing. Woo, 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 woo. You're just telling yourself a bunch of mess, but the devil is telling you those thoughts not only to think, but also to speak in existence, and that becomes your reality. And as that becomes your reality, you're observing, looking at other different realities and trying to compare the reality, but you can't compare the reality because you ain't even in the reality that you're comparing, which is delusional. And then not on top of that, now you're getting hateful and angry and mad because their reality is different from yours, but then you don't want them to have their reality. Now you're thinking in your mind, well, how can I stop their reality? But you don't know what they've been through to get that reality, nor do you know that they had not or they will not actually accept the bullshit that's going to keep in the reality that you already in, on top of last but least to say that they might have been doing what you doing way 10 times, million times worse. But you don't want them to have their reality. That's for the haters in the back. How? Who are you? Nothing special about you. Nothing. If it was, don't you think you would be at the top? Don't you think you would be at the forefront? But there becomes special something that is in you if you choose God. That's the only way you're gonna that's the only way you're gonna unite that or unite that. That's the only way it's gonna happen. It's not gonna happen no other way. You can skip, you can trick people, you can manipulate, you can deceive, you can do all that crazy stuff that you want. But I promise you, as a promise and a guarantee, there's no success in it. If you don't believe me, go ask somebody who's in jail who lost their life for the rest of life because they took a life. You know, speaking of that, you got people that take another life and boasting about it. Like, there's nothing famous or entertaining about you taking somebody else's life, but then you're a crybaby when somebody takes somebody that you care about. Like, make your weak mind up. You know what I'm saying? Make your weak mind up. And you think that people are cheering you on, that it's the right thing to do, but you don't realize them are demons that's talking through people where only thing you can see is their face and their body and their name, you know, the bogus name, the slavery name that they have. That's all you can see, and you thinking that these people actually really care about you, and then when you get in jail, they ain't sending you no commissary money, no phone money, no letters, no nothing. And then that's where reality set in, but you didn't even realize the devil was using them. So, like I said, this been all about showing people different ways of the devil. Of course, the devil mad and angry for me doing this, but oh well, it and he will get over. And the reason why I say he, because when he presented himself to me, it's a masculine energy. And masculine energy can be tricked, that can be feminine, so we don't want to get the game twisted, but who cares what it is? Who gives a damn? I know it's real though. Hopefully people don't have to experience to actually see that it is. They can take my word, and other people who are actually content creators, actually, rather they pretending they have met the devil. I didn't do anything wrong to meet the devil, by the way, because most people, or that is mostly known that people meet the devil by sacrificing, or a sacrifice, or being in a cult that actually is all about wickedness. There's many different cults, but the cult that is about wickedness, they most definitely serve the devil. But that wasn't the case. The Most High wanted to allow me to see it as a witness, and also to give people the testimony, so therefore they can see how close I am to the Most High. And they may feel that they have bad days or they're in a worse situation. But me being here present, going through many things that I've been through, you can do it. If I'm doing it or did it, you can did it and do it. Point blank, period. Yeah, the narcissistic people are possessed with demons. They're demons. Like the chick that I dated, she can make her eyes turn black. She said, "Are you scared?" I was like, "No. What I'm scared for? You can't keep your eyes black the whole time. It's gonna change back. And why am I scared? What is it that you can do? If I allow it, it can be done." And so she was set on assignment where she's in a cult. I just couldn't pick it up. I was picking it up, but the thing about her, she was doing spells, so they all worked together, and they were blocking my intuition from seeing all what I was seeing. It was like, it was foggy to me. And I'm like, something ain't right. That's all I kept saying. I said, something's not right. And I had to go through some hell with this girl. I lost a lot of weight. You see somebody weighing like 200 and something pounds and drop all the way down to like, man, I was down to like I want to say 140. Like, that shit was crazy. I didn't even recognize. They had me not even recognizing who the hell I was. And the only time I recognized when she tried to fight me, this first female that I dated or have ever experienced that wanted to fight. You know, you got women that fight their man and stuff like that that wanted to fight. And I realized the way that she had, the way when I grabbed her and I realized I wasn't able to move her like I'm capable of moving because I'm a masculine person. And then I realized she was able to turn me a certain way and almost flip me over. Like, yeah, this shit ain't right. And that's what made me get on the scale and look. And so once I was able to detach and break away some of that spell work that she had done, she'd been doing spell work the whole time. That's how she got me. Because I had told her I ain't want no relationship. But what she was trying to do is actually kill me without being in a relationship. But she knew the only way she was going to get close to me because she was studying me just as well as anybody else, as well as them. Because around that time, there was a lot of different members and other people who follow the secret societies asking me to actually support and join their, you know, their cults and whatever other shit they had going on. I would tell them no. And like, yeah, well, we give you anything and everything. We give you millions of dollars. Like, I don't want none of that shit. I don't have to have millions of dollars to feel comfortable in my skin or go get a bite to eat or cook some food or put some clothes on. All the shit that people buying anyway is overpriced and it's material things that God has allowed to be on the earth to create. And motherfuckers putting a high price on it like it's actually really that expensive or that it has an expense. It's an illusion. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people get manipulated by it. And I'm not knocking it, but if you can manage the manipulation of what you actually seeing or actually being presented to you, then you will do well. I ain't knocking nobody who buy this shit. You know, people talk about Gucci, Louis Vuitton. Man, there's so many different names. I don't even keep up with it, as you can see. You can see that excuse me, it paused again, but it just means it's time to get off. I'm just saying, like, there's nothing special about me taking some type of material. This is how the devil treat people. And convince you, because it has some letters on it, that it's actually $1,000 or $2 million or whatever. I listen to Nicki Minaj in a rap say, yeah, I buy clothes and don't even look at the price. But then when she go through her hard times on a financial level, she wishing that she never bought any of that BS. You know what I'm saying? Or overbuy the things that she wanted or desired. And there's always a place and time to buy certain things, and people have to understand that with clarity and where they're at in their finances, just like a relationship. Some people rush to be in a relationship, and it's not time to be in one because what they're not seeing may not be preparation for them to actually be doing it right then and there. Everything has a time frame. You know, if I'm not healed or there's something now I'm disturbed in a last relationship and here I am going in another relationship, I'm going to 9 out of 10 repeat the same thing because I didn't evaluate nor did I heal from the past relationship. So I got this negative mindset before I get in this new relationship with this person. And then if they start showing me similar things or the things that I've experienced, then I'm triggered and now I'm going back into a negative state. And now that relationship is just a matter of time before it ends. So this is just an insight how the devil trick you. Like, yeah, you can go ahead and do it. And that was where, like with that young lady, the ex I was talking about, that's how I ended up getting in that one. I had just got out of a relationship. And like I said, I wasn't looking for no relationship, but I ended up getting in one, and then it was a pattern that the devil was using against me because there's been other relationships I've been in, and I get out of them. You know, I forget all the people using you and all that stuff, but they ain't really love you because they don't love themselves. And you getting shown, but you're not comprehending at the time that you haven't fulfilled yourself with love or healed, and this is why you're attracting these type of relationships because you unhealed, and that's some work that need to be done within yourself, your child wounds and, you know, trauma bonding and my phone need to be charged up, y'all. That was somebody calling. My phone need to be charged up, y'all. That was somebody calling. And normally when I do these broadcasts and stuff like that, people don't be calling me and stuff like that. So that just where they don't want the message to get out. But if y'all not following me, make sure y'all follow me. If y'all on a journey, right? A journey where you already on a frequency of high vibrations, this is the channel for you. And also people that you care about and you see them struggling with something, send them over here, and hopefully something that I'm speaking about will touch their spirit, touch their heart, and get them motivated or keep them motivated so they can actually stay steady on that one path that they're taking versus the many roads that you can take. And shouts out to India and shouts out to everybody around the world. We don't discriminate over here. We love all people. We just don't love ignorance, nor do we love evil. That's all we don't love. We ain't got no love for none of that. So if a person ever felt or feel or even spread a lie, which that would be, oh man, I think Olodumare Obisayin, I think he's racist. I don't understand none of that language. That language comes from man. Even man don't even understand that language, because you want me to tell you why? Because man actually is participating what he say that he don't like, which is other people. It doesn't matter if you pick the person from the top to the bottom or from the gutter. People say what they don't like, but you are relying on those people in some form or fashion. So it's a lie. There's another truth teller. That's what I am as well. That's one of my nicknames. And that I like to expose the truth. Meaning what is supposedly be the truth, I tell the truth, what the truth really is. That truth comes from the Most High discernment. Not something I'm creating or researching or typing up or some type of philosophy. No. In all actuality, the people who tell you they don't like people, people love people. Trust me. If they ain't love them, you know what people will be doing? They'll be in a cave somewhere away from everything. They don't need no, they will go in the woods and hunt. And then all actuality, they wouldn't even do that, because now that's connecting them to animals and all of that stuff that's connected to humanity. Animals and humans are connected as one. That's why you see dogs understand the conversation, lions and elephants, and that's why you can see they come under our command, because they understand our language. And then we understand their language. If they hurt, or they're in the need of hunger, or they're in need of protection, we're able to interact with them. But yo, y'all lucky. Not saying it in a bad way that I can't finish this broadcast, but yo, I said enough. And those, like I said, if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe if you like to. It's no pressure. It's not forced. I appreciate all the support. And make sure you like it. Why? Because it's likable. It's teachable. You learn something positive. You learn something that you can grow with. You learn something that's going to keep you focused. You got something. This platform is, if you get unfocused, you can come and get refocused. All right? Until then, man, peace and blessing. Olodumare Obisayin, peace and blessing to you, the chosen and the collective, and salute to the Most High and the ancestor and the spiritual team. And what people think ain't real, people gonna find out. As they would say, fuck around and find out. People gonna find out. Some people are already finding out, but people who stay in tune gonna see nothing but truth.